Guys, sometimes you hate your job, sometimes you hate your boss, sometimes you hate your supervisor, and sometimes you just hate the whole shebang.
Some supervisors suck. And this is way too common when supervisors are talking behind your back, or they don't trust you, or they're trying to micromanage you every step of the way. But the truth is, you are hired because you have the skill sets to do that job, right? You are worthy of being in that job. If you are in a company or an organization that sees a supervisor doing that type of behavior, I want you to really analyze if this is worth it for you to stay in that organization. Because if their supervisors and their managers are people who are talking behind people's back and making their employees feel a certain type of way, is it worth it to stay in a company like this? Because if it's not, then take the steps to move forward into an organization where you feel loved and supported at work. Because you spend so much of your life in this job.
Have you guys at home ever worked in a job where you feel like the management and the boss are talking behind your back? I would imagine if that happens, it makes you feel horrible. If it's happened to me, I didn't necessarily know about it. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. If you hate your job, let us know down below.
Y'all, the one thing I hate about my supervisor, she quick to say, call me if you need me. But when I call you, I can't get in touch with you. When I call you, you do nothing. When I call you, it's figure it out yourself. What are you actually supervising? What are you actually supervising?
I have had a lot of supervisors that say, "Hey, I have an open door policy. If you need me, call me, text me, email me. I'm there for you, buddy." And then they never are there for you when you need them. It's the craziest thing.
Y'all, I'm here to tell y'all that I hate this fucking job. Calls. Listen to this. I hate this motherfucker that's always telling us how many pharmacy calls we got. Because what the fuck? You answer the phones. You want to tell us how many calls we got? You answer the phones. Y'all.
6 pharmacy calls.
I have so many pages to count in here. And that basically means I have like 300 scripts to count. And doctors are still calling shit in.
6
I
pharmacy
can't.
calls.
I literally cannot. Y'all, we don't get a break.
Calls.
7.
So whenever I walk by people working in the pharmacy, I always assume that their job is chill and laid back. That seems like the most hectic job ever. If you guys were thinking the same thing I was, that it's a laid back job, let me know. Apparently, it has its stressful moments.
7 calls that I'm not answering. We don't get a break in here. I stand up for hours. I be in here by myself. People always getting smart. They see how busy we is. We got COVID testing. I can't, y'all. I cannot. I literally cannot. I can't deal with this.
7 pharmacy calls.
Do y'all think that I should quit?
I think it might be good for her to quit. Did you hear that thing saying 7 pharmacy calls? And it chirps every 15 or 20 seconds? That might be a job you might want to quit unless this is just one of the rush experiences, because some places do have their little rush hour here and there.
Let me know if y'all think I should quit. Because it's not worth it. I don't even get paid
7
enough
pharmacy
for this.
calls.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Do you think there's a chance she's behind because instead of working, she's making TikTok videos? I think there's at least a chance that could be the situation here.
I can't. This is my arch nemesis, the motherfucker that keep telling us how many phone calls we got. You answer the phone.
7 pharmacy calls.
It's still in QB too.
Okay, he gotta verify it. So just give him a second.
I still love you.
6 pharmacy
He's trying to calm
calls.
me down. I'm starving. I'm hungry. And I can't even take a break because it's so busy in here.
Oh, that's right. Somebody gave me.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think she's valid, or do you think there's 6 pharmacy calls because she won't pick up the phone?
I literally bursted out in tears during this coaching plan once again that this manager wants to give me. And he kept saying, and I'm not taking, it's not personal. It's not personal. This is just how it is. And I'm just trying to figure it out. At this point, I feel like it is personal. It is. You're purposely trying to find anything and everything to eliminate me. And I don't have the capacity anymore. I've been miserable for 9 months. At this point, I'd rather be miserable for 9 months because I'm giving birth. I'm creating life inside of me rather than being miserable and exhausted and stressed the fuck out over a job that doesn't pay enough to be stressed. I'd rather be pregnant at this point and deal with a baby that I'm carrying for 9 months and delivering it than to deal with this bullshit ass job. There comes a point in time where you have to just say fuck it and give up. This job is mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausting. To the point that I told him, at this point, I'm probably going to put my 2 weeks in. And honestly, I don't know what information you're looking for me to improve. I have nothing for you. I'm going to try my best. Is there anything else? Because I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to clock out. And that's exactly what I did.
Hey. Guys, sometimes your mental health is more important than your job. The reason I say sometimes is if it pays 6 figures, you know it's going to be a mental strain, right? That's what you signed up for. But if it's one of these low-paying jobs, just find another job.
Do you ever just get to work, like your job, and you just sit in the parking lot, you sit in your car, and you're like, fuck, I don't want to go in. I don't want to do this today. And it's not that you hate your job. Maybe you feel fortunate that you have a job. It's just that it just doesn't bring you any joy. And you're just tired of going through the motions just to get a paycheck every week. So you sit in your car and maybe you listen to music or just aimlessly scroll social media, smoke another cigarette if you smoke. Anything to not have to go in and start your day at that job that you don't want to do. I know the feeling.
So that's obviously what he's doing right there. If you've ever had a job that you hate, let us know down below. Or if you hate your current one, maybe share that as well. I look at people's resumes all the time, and sometimes you'll be talking to a paraprofessional that's in their 20s, right? And they've already had 7 or 8 jobs. Each job, they stay there for about 30 to 60 days, and you think, golly, you're obviously not very loyal to your job, right? But the interesting thing is in those 8 or 9 jobs for 1 or 2 months at a time, they get such a variety. They're trying out new jobs all the time. They're meeting new people. They're networking, right? And then you take a look at your life, and maybe you've been at the same job forever. Maybe you're miserable when you get there, just like this guy. And maybe you find yourself looking at the clock every single day, waiting for the job to end. It can really be crappy. So sometimes when you see those resumes with those kids that have a million jobs, maybe their life is fun.
Believe it or not, if you quit your job, especially at a corporate level, your company does not care. In other words, it's all business when it comes down to them. They have data and metrics, and they know what percentage of employees are going to leave their company. So you have to stop taking things personal when it comes down to leaving a company. I hear people say, I'm not going to put in a resignation letter. Screw them. I'm going to just quit and not come back. Listen, you're only hurting yourself. You're not hurting them. If you're not careful, all they're going to do is blacklist you. Listen, the benefits of putting in a resignation letter or 2 weeks notice is to protect your professional brand.
So I agree with him. My thinking is put a 2-week notice in. More than likely, your boss or your job's going to ask you to leave right away anyway, but they'll never be able to take away the fact that you gave them a notice because you were doing things the right way.
Do you ever wake up to an email from your boss in the morning and are just constantly impressed by their incredible talent to demotivate you?
Yeah, it seems like bosses aren't necessarily the most motivating of people, definitely.
Have you ever been bullied into quitting a job? Because I have. And I think it's a lot more common than we realize. And I think we need to bring awareness to toxic work environments and bullying in work environments. I just dedicated 3 years of my life to a company that I plan to retire with. I had my life roughly mapped out until retirement around this job. I was committed. I loved my job. I genuinely thought that I was just a one-off person getting bullied at work until I started reaching out to friends because my mental health was so deteriorated, I didn't know what to do. Why do people think they can treat other people this way? And why is it their goal to belittle people to the point of quitting? I was up for a promotion, and so was my coworker. I had damn near perfect attendance. She should have been fired many months prior due to lack of attendance. I have 0 write-ups. She has more than she probably should. Again, why does she still work there? I don't know. Based on feedback from people that were part of our interviews, I had the job in the bag. I was so excited. But wait, I didn't get the job. My coworker did. So clearly I asked my manager, what's going on? I really thought that I was going to get this job. Like, I'm not mad. I just want to understand, like, what can I improve on? My manager tells me she knows that my coworker's gonna fail, and she's essentially setting her up for failure to watch her fail. So I should just be patient because my time will be coming soon. Instead of playing this roundabout game, you lost an employee. So congrats.
She tried to give her some excuse because she didn't want to say you're not old enough. This girl looks like she's 22. Did she really think she was going to be with that same company for the rest of her life? Get real.
The one thing I was not prepared for in the workforce was to have older women just hate me for existing. But older women hated me for no reason. So I worked for a company that sold medical equipment, and I was in sales and marketing. And we all kind of had different bosses, and we all had, it was like kind of like, I don't know, little groups. And so my boss was under this one. My boss was an older lady, maybe in her 60s, and she had worked at this company for 20 years. We all had different shifts. So like I could come in at 6 a.m. and leave at 3 p.m. And that's what I did. So I came in at 6 a.m. and then she would come in at like a normal time, 8 a.m. And every day she'd come in, she would ask only me what I was doing. So, you know, there's a whole team of like, I don't know, 15 of us. She would say, Chrissy, what have you done? Then she would log into the back end of my computer to see what I had been doing that day. And the thing is, I didn't really realize that I was being like singled out. You know, she got mad at me for taking a lot of water breaks. So I was naive and I went to HR and I was like, hey, I just don't think she's treating me fairly. She's like treating me different than everyone else. Now, this company also had someone that was on FMLA leave and also was just like finished a lawsuit from someone not getting their proper lunch breaks. So I'm assuming they were like really fearful of a lawsuit. I was freshly 21. I don't even like that didn't even come into my brain. Okay. So I just went to them because that's what I thought you were supposed to do. And I was like, hey, I just think she's like picking on me and I don't really understand it. And it got to a point where like she would call me out in front of everyone. She would talk down to me. But the thing is, like, my accounts were happy. I was hitting goals. I was doing okay. It's just that I could do the job in less time than everyone else.
I don't know. I see people like this in the workplace all the time, not necessarily in my current job, but in jobs in the past. And I think we all have, where they think because they're talented enough to get the job done in the allotted time and still goof off, that it's okay. And sometimes, your manager's there to try to get the most out of you. You're not battling your way to the middle. You're supposed to battle your way to the top. So I can see where she's coming from. But at the same time, it's like if you're a manager or a supervisor and you see your star not really putting their best effort forward, what are you supposed to do?
No matter what job you go to, you're always going to have to deal with somebody you don't like. You have to learn
Right?
how to suck it up and deal with people. Emotional fortitude is important. I see people go from this job and that job from here to here. Now they don't have a job. And then you guys email me like, I'm not working. So can you help me? No. Stop putting your job without a plan, because no matter where you go, it's going to be someone that you don't like. It's going to be a boss over you that you're not going to get along with. So you have to learn how to get along with people. You have to learn how to deal with people. You have to deal with things when you're working and dealing with other people.
That is such good advice. We have friends that tell us what we want to hear, even when we're wrong. We could all use a friend like this girl who's telling you, hey, have a plan, get along with people, try to make the most out of your job because your job isn't necessarily supposed to be fun all the time.
The saddest situation to be in is to have a job that you love what you're doing, you love the company, you love your pay, you love the people, the culture, etc., but you hate your boss.
Yep.
That is the worst situation. I wish supervisors, managers understood a lot of employees, they don't leave the job, they leave their boss. I've been in situations where I love my job, I love what I do. I cannot deal with my boss, and therefore I end up leaving. And it sucks. You try to set boundaries, you try to have conversations with them, you try to reason with them, and it just does not work, and it is terrible. And in this job market, it's like you end up feeling stuck.
A lot of times you do feel stuck, and it does suck when you're in a job market where there's not necessarily many options for you, but there is an option for you to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.